of the pounds. This is the Bible study materials. Wednesday. Ready? Go to the book of Luke. See some parallel here. Luke 19, 11 to 28. You know what this is? This is Luke's version of Parable of the Talents. This is Luke's version of Parable of the Talents. Matthew's is Parable of the Talents. Luke's is Parable of the Pounds. And you see it here. Calling 10 of his servants, he gave them 10 pounds. I'm in Luke, verse 13. Luke 19, verse 13. Calling 10 of his servants, he gave them 10 pounds. Trade with this till I come. But his citizens hated him and sent an embassy after him, saying, we do not want this man to reign over us. When he returned, having received the kingly power, he commanded his servants to whom he had given the money to be called to him, that he might know what they had gained by trading. The first before him, saying, Lord, your pound has made 10 pounds more. Well done, good and faithful servant, because you have been faithful in very little, you shall have authority over 10 cities. So what are we saying here? Just like the parable of the talents, right? They're equivalent, actually. So parable of the pounds is parable of the talents. Same message. Now, remember in Matthew 24? Nobody knows. Nobody knows the time. Remember in Matthew 24? Nobody knows he will come like a thief in the night. Nobody knows the end times, eschatology. Now, because nobody knows, what do we do?
We slack.
Hmm?
We slack.
No. There's no such thing as lack in Christian life. Christian living is no lack. God is in charge. So what do? Huh? Life is a preparation. Remember from last week? Life, the whole life is a preparation for His coming. That's why what this is telling us is live faithful to the values of Christ's kingdom and show that He's our King right now. Remember last week I was telling you, Thy kingdom come, when you pray the Our Father. What does it mean, Thy kingdom come? He becomes the King of your soul. Remember that from 2 Fridays ago? I wrote it here. The King of my soul. Remember, Jesus is the King of Kings. You have to live like Jesus is your King, the King of your soul. That's how you prepare for His coming. And to be sure that you will be saved. Because you look at Him as your King. You are His servant. Now, what does it mean, one gold coin at a time? One day at a time. Well, when we get baptized, that's the first thing. Initiation, sacraments, baptism and confirmation, right? The sacrament of baptism, CCD. The sacrament of baptism, what happens? What happens when we get baptized?
You welcome into the church.
Yeah, but what
Father,
You're original.
This what?
You are sealed with the Son, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
The original sin is forgiven.
What else?
You are
Very important.
Original sin is forgiven. And you become part of the Catholic Church.
More important than that.
Really?
Yeah.
You become the child of Christ.
More important than that.
Oh, wow.
When we get baptized, the seed of the Holy Spirit is planted in us, into our soul.
What's that?
When we get baptized, the seed of the Holy Spirit is planted. It's called one gold coin at a time. Because first we have to have the seed planted. And then what we do, we nourish that seed until the seed gets nourished and grows. Our faith grows. And then we get confirmation. What happens after confirmation? Don't go to church anymore? No, a lot of people do that. But it's a wrong thing to do. After confirmation, you must continue because you know what? Studying is a lifelong process. A lot of people ask me, when does your class end? It never ends. That's my answer. It never ends. I've been doing this this is the 13th year. And it never ends. Why does it never end? Because studying is a lifelong process. Because if you stop studying, you know what happens? You move backward. You move backward. You know, in matters of faith, there's no such thing as, there are only two ways to do it. You're going to stay the same. Oh, I know many things now. I can stop studying and I know what I know. Wrong. You know what happens? As long as you study, you keep moving forward. When you stop studying, you keep going backwards. There's no such thing as staying still. Not in matters of faith. To those who have been given more is, even more is given to them. And to those who have very little, even the little that they have will be taken away from them. So you move backwards. And you know what happens when you move backwards in faith? Oblivion. You see? So, one gold coin at a time. Have the seed, get baptized, and then nourish it. Study, nourish it, get confirmed. After confirmation, practice your faith. Leave the gospel. One gold coin at a time. That's the meaning of that. What about God's generosity? You can never outdo God in generosity. I mentioned before that God will never give you a problem or trouble if there is not enough or sufficient grace to get you through it. He will always be generous. Okay? By the way, where's my thingy? I just wanted to add here. Let's see. That's right. The purpose of this is to bear fruit. Remember the fig tree? You know what happens when you don't bear fruit? You'll be cut down and thrown into the fire. You better bear fruit. And a tree by its fruit, right? You know a tree by its fruit. Thursday, Luke 19. Build your life on the rock that is Christ. Everywhere in the Bible, the rock pertains to Christ, except in Matthew 16. In Matthew 16, the rock is Peter. But everywhere else, the rock is Jesus Christ. Even the church says that. The really rock of our salvation is Jesus Christ, not Peter. Except that Peter became the rock upon whom Jesus has founded the church. So that's the rock, that is Christ. As for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. Have you heard that? What does that mean? Old Testament, book of Joshua. Then we'll get the catechism.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I don't break. Oh, sure. I knew it.
When you don't have anything.
I don't have anything today. You hit all.
And now I...
You hit all. I'm like, great.
I can find it.
What chapter? Isaiah?
Not yet, hang on. I'm looking. 24? Joshua 24.
Your son.
Hmm?
Oh, yeah. There should be a Bible somewhere.
I had to look at some of left it in there.
Joshua 24, verse 15. Joshua 24, verse 15. You see it? As for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. Beautiful, beautiful statement. So, what is the inference here, number one? We have free will, right? We have two choices. Either we love God and serve God, or we deny Him. Those are the two choices you have. Love God and serve God, or deny Him, ignore Him, according to our free will. And then Joshua is saying, well, as for me and my whole household, we will serve the Lord. Out of free will. Remember, God will not force you to love Him. The bottom line is whether you like it or not, God loves you. That's the bottom line. Whether you like it or not, God loves you. Now, whether or not you love Him is your own free will. Number two, the time to prepare for the storm is now. Again, life is a preparation. Number two is just like saying, life is a preparation for God's kingdom. The time to prepare for the storm is now. It's not tomorrow. It's not next week. It's not next month. The time to prepare is now. What storm are we talking about? The end times. The time to prepare is now. Next. That's what it means. Self-knowledge to resist sin. And how do we do this? Fidelity and prayer. You know what fidelity means?
Faithfulness.
If your name is Fidel, or infidel. Mr. Bin Laden used to call us infidel.
Oh, you know.
Through fidelity and prayer, you can have self-knowledge. Now, let me tell you. We are all adults here, right? Are you an adult?
Yes, very much.
Okay? Since we are all adults, we know ourselves now, right? And the fact that we know ourselves, we know our strengths, we know our weaknesses. Right? Some of us, our weakness is food. When we see food, we want to devour it. Maybe. Well, what is your weakness? Let me tell you what. You know yourselves more than anybody else, right? Do you know her well? Do you know her well? It's okay, you can speak up. If you know her well, you know her weaknesses, you know her strengths, right? But she knows, I bet she knows more than you do about herself. Yes? You know, that's the key to self-knowledge. You're able to resist sin better if you know yourself. If you don't know your weaknesses, you don't know your strengths. You don't know how to resist sin. Because you don't know how to avoid temptation. Again, part of the Our Father. Lead us not into temptation. But because of your lack of self-knowledge, you do not know your strengths and weaknesses. You're the one looking for temptation. If you do not know yourself. Okay? Friday. You see? This is Luke's account of, remember what he did at the temple? He had a strand of ropes and started turning the tables upside down, throw away the coins, and let the animals go free. That's out of zeal for the Father's house. That's why I don't want bingo in the churches. It's a good thing St. Peter does not have that.
You used to. Long time ago.
From Father Jerome, right?
No, before him.
Before him.
Yeah, before, must have been before.
Way. Both Father